All right, what's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me today. My name is Cody. You can go ahead and find me on Twitter at CTibs81. That's CTIBBS81. I'm going to start getting a lot more active on there. If you do follow me, go ahead and DM me or tweet at me and let me know that you found me on here, and that's why you're following me. And let's have a good, friendly, cordial online interaction. We don't have many of those nowadays, so let's go ahead and do that. The NFL draft is tonight, and in yesterday's video, I mentioned that it was the Super Bowl. That's because that's how excited I am. I messed up on my wording. I was just super excited. But we are going to go into our picks on what we have today, or I'm changing it up a little bit from here on, and I'm assuming at some point people are going to go back and say, oh, you were giving out your picks for free. What happened? Well, if you are watching this, and there are quite a few of you, I do appreciate it on different networks, but I'm just going to give you picks that I am interested in and not necessarily taking. And then as I get more of a following, I will go ahead and post my picks of the night after the games have started. So that will be the way that I go. And obviously you could see why I'm doing that. But, you know, at the same time right now, I mean, they're just free picks and ideas, and I'm giving out winners. But honestly, today in baseball, I don't have much, right? So we mentioned yesterday that it's a really weird time in baseball. And there has never been a month in MLB history where there have been more strikeouts than hits. As of yesterday, before the game started, there were 374 more strikeouts than hits. That's a lot. If there's never been a month ever where there has been more strikeouts than hits, and then all of a sudden in 1 month there are 370 more. The next closest, by the way, and I'm getting on rabbit trails here, but the next closest was there were 124 more hits than strikeouts, and that was in the early 2000s. 374 more strikeouts than hits. As of today, that number dropped to 354, and I think we are headed back on the right track, hopefully, or teams will start catching on. And the reason I bring that up is because it's been a really weird month of baseball, and actually a really weird week of baseball, right? For the people who have proven strategies, people who have done this right and know what's going on, they know that this week is weird. And for the most part, the experts and the professionals are kind of honing back on baseball, picking their spots more precisely and not just free throwing it like I've been. And we grew the account. The $150 bookmaker challenge went from 100 to, I think it got up to almost 600, or 150 to almost 600 last week, or just over 600 at one point. And we're right back down to that 475. We got slammed down hard this week. And in baseball, I'm going to stay away. The only one that I might take, and I'll tell you the other ones that I'm interested in, but it's just been so weird, right? You really can't explain it when baseball is not at its peak, when it's not normal, and baseball is basically a game of stats, is a game of like a bell curve. If you think of baseball as a bell curve, you have the middle, right, of where everything kind of aligns perfectly, and you get outside the normal range of deviation, basically, or the standard deviation. It went backwards. Baseball was being played at a poor pace. Teams weren't playing well. Things aren't going right. There are 354 more strikeouts than hits, and it comes down to teams like the Astros playing good, of course. Teams like the Red Sox playing abnormally great, but then there's teams in the middle that are not good. They're not good, and they are playing on that same quote-unquote great level. And the Rays are one of those teams who have won 5 straight. The Tigers were playing really well. They're way above 500. Maybe not way above. Are they way above 500? The Tigers? The Tigers? Did Los Tigres not play today? Yeah, Los Tigres played yesterday. I know that for a fact. And they are... I mean, I could have swore they were about 500. This Sports Action app isn't necessarily the greatest. I do use it for a lot of my stuff. The Tigers are right at 500. Good for them at 10 and 12. And they do take on the Orioles starting tomorrow, who are way below 500. And that wasn't really expected. We knew that'd be a drop-off. The Pirates were playing outstanding. They were playing really well, and now they've kind of dropped back to 500. They are 13 and 11, and we know the Pirates aren't going to be any good. And like I said, the Rays have won a bunch. The Marlins kind of got hot for a second. They took 2 of 3, or they took 2 from Miami or from the Dodgers. Anyway, been a weird type of season, or a weird week or two here. So we are taking a step back. The only game I will take is I will bet against the Rays tonight, and I will take the over. I will take the Orioles at minus 125, and I will take the over 7.5. Chris Archer has done nothing to impress me. This year. He's been okay. Daniel Bundy has done everything to impress me. I just think I think the Rays are playing okay ball right now, but I will take the over 7.5. and the Orioles at minus 125. And that doesn't fit my strategy. That's just me merely guessing. I'm going away from my strategy and everything else I know. Another potential game that I am interested in is, let's see, Chris Sale's on the mound for the Blue Jays. My initial thoughts on that one: the Red Sox are minus 200, and the over/under is set at 8. I'm leaning towards the over on that one. It's a pretty good bet, I think. And a lot of these games are played in the afternoon, so that's a 7:07 start. There's 2 8 o'clock starts, and that's going to end the night. Milwaukee and Chicago play. A good Milwaukee team is plus money, which you don't see too often. And an average right now Chicago Cubs team hoping to get back on, or getting off the shine, back on the winning train there, minus 143. And the White Sox and the Orioles play tonight, and I have no interest in that, but the Orioles are minus 170. The over is set at 9, and that number is running. So that's what we got there. The NBA playoffs have been, really last night was insane with LeBron James, which was really cool to see him hit that. He celebrated like they just won the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, they just won. They took the lead in a game, or in a round 1 game. Not great, but Milwaukee and Boston do play tonight. Milwaukee minus 4.5. I think Boston closes out the series tonight in Milwaukee, and you can take them plus 4.5 all day, and actually I am going to. In the NHL, I believe, the next round of the playoffs starts with Pittsburgh and Washington kicking off at 7 o'clock. Pittsburgh is plus 110. Plus 110? I mean, you got to take it, right? Pittsburgh plus 110? That might be my lone bet. Pittsburgh and Boston will probably be my lone picks. Those are games that I'm interested in, not necessarily taking, but very, very interesting. And the NFL draft is tonight, and we have plenty of props going. I can't even remember all of the props that I have, so give me 1 second. But if you really think about the NFL draft, by the way, it will blow your mind. How did this become such a spectacle? And obviously it grew and the sport grew, and which is great, but man, it just seems like an odd thing to get hyped for. And I'm excited. I mean, I really am excited. Burgers and beer tonight on tap. I'm really excited for that. But still, just kind of, if you think about it, we do have the Calvin Ridley draft position at the under 19.5 at minus 111. That one seems easy money. Number of QBs drafted in the first round. We did take the under 5.5 at minus 230. I had to pay for that one, and I don't necessarily love it. Lamar Jackson draft position. We have the over minus 264. I don't know. It just the only thing that worries me is that Miami, Baltimore, and Arizona are sitting below that, but and then I could see a team potentially trading up for them, such as a New England, a New Orleans. Should I take the plus 190? That's a real thought right now. I'll have to think about that one, but anyway, those are what we have. I don't want to deal with any more. Really excited for the NFL draft tonight. It should be good. If you are watching, let me know. Follow me on Twitter at CTibbs81. That's CTIBBS81. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And, I'll see you next video. Oh, now I'll see you next video.